Hi everyone, welcome finally to my new room tour and getting ready to start doing live selling. I'm recording this right now on my computer. It's Sunday night and I'm kind of just chilling out here on the floor because I want to talk about some stuff before I actually show you guys stuff. And I'm going to be testing a lot of things tonight. So, as I'm getting ready for live selling, I want to test out and kind of show you guys and talk to you guys about everything that I've been doing. One of my daughters is actually sleeping in here, so hopefully you guys pick up on the volume, but I'm not going to be talking too loudly. And just adjusting here, I have this new ring light and phone stand hooked up to the table. So I'm actually going to play around with this first. So does that look, that gets really grainy as it's less light. And let me adjust this light a little bit towards me. A little bit down. So that's super bright. So this is a little bit better actually for right now for a little bit of contrast. So essentially to backtrack, what I've done, it's been a week. You guys, we live in Sarasota, Florida. So we literally just finished up a hurricane and getting power back from this hurricane. So I I've been here since 2016, and then so we had a hurricane about 5 years ago called Irma, and it was a big one too, but it was kind of supposed to also be projected to come towards Sarasota, and then it tracked south more and went towards I think Punta Gorda and Port Charlotte area. So we didn't get a direct hit last time either, but it was still really stormy last time. And it still did do a lot of damage to like aluminum and carports and that sort of thing. So, but at that hurricane, they did massive evacuations because they really thought, I think it had gotten up to almost a 5 or was a 5, but then decreased before it hit land. Um, So because it was so strong and we knew about it, I guess, a couple days beforehand, they decided to do these massive evacuations, which people were stuck on roads, both evacuating out and evacuating in during that year. So this time, there wasn't this like sense of urgency to like evacuate immediately, even though they knew days in advance that it was going to be a 3 or a 4. They didn't know where it was going to hit. And it was just this big cone. And it was, so now we're talking Ian. So now, not talking about Irma 5 years ago, but talking Ian now. We decided to stay because we live about 5 miles, 5 to 6 miles from the actual coastline. And we're in the last evacuation zone. And it has only ever flooded on our street once really badly from a really bad storm. So we weren't afraid of flooding, but I was afraid of this house that we live in, that we rent in, because of the roof being pretty old. Recently having been repaired with just a patch until they decide to actually replace the roof. But we have a hurricane room. We were well stocked and we had family in town. And we just kind of were like, we're not going to evacuate. Where are we going to go? And with the type of work that I have in my regular like life, like regular job, I knew that I was going to need to be around and be working. So we knew that we were going to lose power. We knew that we would probably lose internet. Um, and we were like, we'll just deal with it. We have a hurricane room in the house if it really was going to get that bad. So it was pretty bad. And it was supposed to first track, supposedly tracking towards Tampa and Tampa Bay. As it started to pass Cuba, they're like, okay, now it looks like it's coming down towards Sarasota. So we were then thinking, holy crap, there isn't enough time for it to move from the Sarasota area to down south in Fort Myers where it actually eventually hit. We didn't think that we thought for sure. We're like, okay, they're really talking Sarasota very heavily now. And they did so for about, I want to say almost a whole day, like 12 to 24 hours. They were talking about that it was going to be Sarasota. I believe it was Tuesday night, maybe really late Tuesday night or Tuesday morning, as it became an official hurricane and had passed Cuba. I think they were like, okay, this thing's now going south, but it might still hit anywhere between Tampa Bay and Fort Myers. But they were now starting to say Fort Myers, Port Charlotte, Charlotte County, Sanibel Island, Captiva, that whole area there. And we're like, oh, wow, well, we're still going to feel it because the eye wall was still so large. I think I heard that they said that the eye wall was something like 40 miles like wide. So I'm like, wow, well, that'll get us because we're definitely going to be within that area. So I said, no matter what, I said, we're going to feel this storm. And we did. In our town, um, got hit pretty hard. With lots of trees and debris and that sort of thing. And we did lose power. But that night, I started getting internet spotty back on my phone around like 11:30 at night. And it was starting to die down, but it was still scary. I mean, we have three huge trees on our property, two of them that are close to our roofs. So I literally, like, the whole time I was like, oh my God, a tree's gonna fall on our roof, it's gonna fall on our roof. Like, I was terrified of that. But it didn't. So, excuse me. But it didn't. So we got lucky. The area that we live in, a lot of people live in those towns and work and commute back and forth between Sarasota and Northport and Port Charlotte. So a lot of families that are in the area have families down in those areas too, and so forth. So it's only about 20 minutes away. So we were really lucky. If that had come into Sarasota, I anticipate we would have gotten way much worse. Like, I don't know what the wind speeds were coming in at Fort Myers. We lost power on Wednesday, the storm around 1:30. So we actually were cooking all morning long, and just kind of cooking and prepping, trying to have food done, and ready, and trying to wash as much laundry, trying to, do dishes. We were just trying to keep it up until we knew at any moment we could lose electricity because it was really interesting. Our neighbor lost electricity at 7:30 in the morning. So when she called us and told us, I was like, oh my God, let's start cooking now. And I totally completely forgot to think about cooking the night before and getting stuff stocked up and saved. Like, it's just things that you don't think about. Like, it's too much to think about everything if you're going to stay. So I was trying to get my bathtub full in case we lost water or capability of losing water. Because sometimes the counties and the cities will shut off your water to help protect the infrastructure more, which is what they did on the barrier islands. So on Tuesday afternoon at 5 o'clock, people on the barrier islands had already gotten their water shut off. So that's kind of why I was like, oh my God, let's fill up the bathtub. Like, the drain thing wouldn't stay up. And so the water just did not stay. Like, I tried twice to fill up that freaking bathtub and it didn't work. But the smartest thing that we did, which I've learned from hurricane prepping, is freezing bags of water and creating ice blocks in your freezer. So I know this is totally off topic of my closet, but I'm just giving you the hurricane update, right? But basically, like, you freeze baggies of water, and the more packed your fridge is, think about it. It's like creating an ice block. So it'll stay more contained and it fills more, and then the freezer works better when it's kind of all like packed in. Um, And I don't know the whole science behind it, but basically everybody has always told me that once you lose power, you literally don't open that freezer again. And if you prepped with enough time and packed that freezer full and packed it full of these bags of water, then it'll help maintain because it's basically creating ice blocks. And it does, it works really well. So even though our fridge was down, we didn't get a generator until the following morning. So we lost power around 1:30 and we didn't get a generator until 7:30 next morning. Everything in the freezer was still frozen, everything. So it really does help with that. And then basically it was just, try to get, as much of your laundry washed beforehand. And then a couple of other things. We don't have lanai or screens in our property, but a lot of people do. And another interesting one that I had learned right before the hurricane was coming and they were talking about preps was if you are for sure 100% know that it's tracked towards your town and it's almost like if you stayed behind and you're like almost there, the storm's almost there, cut your screens. Cut your screens in X's. It lets the air flow and then it puts less pressure on the actual caging of your lanai. Now, obviously, if you're evacuating, um, but you're like 90% sure, do it anyways. Because that's like some of the stuff that comes down the most damage that we saw everywhere is lots of tree and lots of debris from trees, lots of fencing down, and then lots of lanais and cages and aluminum kind of all over the place. Um, so anyway, so that's basically it. We were really lucky that we got our power back yesterday, and I've basically just taken this whole week to kind of just put my room together and kind of focus on something else to kind of try and keep my mind off of everything that was it was very hard. It was very hard. It was very hard to try and plan and think and are we gonna be okay and how bad is it gonna be? It ended up coming on land as a 4, almost a 5. Literally within 3 more miles speed, it would have been a category 5. So let's essentially call it like a category 5. But it basically officially came in as a category 4. And I mean, Fort Myers is just destroyed, but even other towns, like I said, Northport and Port Charlotte are also like pretty bad. Um, we have a friend whose 2 children pretty much are both homeless. One of them had 15 feet of water from a river that crested like 3 days after the storm. Crested to historic levels that whole highways were shut down. So it's kind of what we're used to living here in Florida. It's kind of something that we're kind of, always in the back of our minds. Everybody up north has blizzards and we have hurricanes. I'm originally from New Jersey and my coworker's originally from New York. And this was her first hurricane. And it was one of the worst that hit Sarasota. Even just the outer bands and stuff like that was one of the worst. And we've had people that we know that are natives to Sarasota, and they're like, "This was the worst storm ever, ever." So it was pretty bad. But my friend was like, "I would definitely take a snowstorm over this," and I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "I don't know, like." Snowstorm afterwards, it's freezing, and then you're stuck, and you gotta go shovel that crap, and then like, I don't know. I don't know which is worse, honestly. So, anyway, so let's get into kind of what I've been doing. Lots of things going on in my mind, lots of things that I want to do this week. And so the first is my I've uploaded 2 or 3 videos, 3 to my new YouTube account. So I pulled 2 videos from my older one that I still had access to, and I've uploaded them all together. So I'm calling those my 2019 videos where I had started doing some of this reselling in 2018. But then I essentially had stopped like midway between, no, it was actually about, it was more than midway of 2020. Essentially by like May, June of 2020, I wasn't out shopping anymore, and whatever I had in my closet is what was still listed. And I didn't really have very many sales until, I think I stopped around September of 2020. And then this year, I don't know when you'll ever watch this, but if you're watching this, it's October 2nd of 2022. About August, I was like, you know what? I'm really tired of driving for DoorDash and Instacart, my other part-time job. And I really wanted to go back into reselling. I love it. I love talking about clothes, buying clothes, hunting for clothes, all of that. So I really wanted to get into the clothing reselling again. So I've been building up my closet. I've been getting on the platform. I've been making sales. Um, and I'm actually going to, I don't know, my phone's kind of in the background with the music, so I kind of don't want to interrupt it and do anything on my phone. And I might be able to minimize this a little bit and maybe pull up some information on my screen, but I might not even need it for right now. This video is very flexible. I'm just literally trying to kind of show you guys what I've done, show you this room, talk about, oh, and I'm going to be working on some stuff actually. So I'll kind of have you um, be watching some of the work that I'm doing in the background. So essentially, I've been buying up a lot of inventory and listing everything. And there were a couple of missteps with reopening everything, and something that I should have done better, something that I should have known and I knew about, and I should have done a little bit better. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about some of the things that were could have been done much better. All listings across the board on any platform that you go to should be should have as much information as you can get into there from the very beginning. And this is all going to kind of be depending on how you want to do things, how you like to do things, or what kind of equipment or materials you have, or kind of how you're getting started. I have been slowly collecting and getting things to get to a point to be completely 100% ready, and it's been work. It's been a lot of work. I have I have currently active, I think 184 listings on Poshmark. I have only 160 or so on Mercari. So those are the two platforms that I love. Um, I tried maybe getting into Facebook Marketplace, but I hate it. Nothing moves, nothing gets anything on it. And I just think it's not that it's tedious. Facebook Marketplace is not um, complicated. It's not tedious. It's not really bad. But you have to think about your process of your photographing and how you're going to kind of do that. So my phone is like full. My capacity on my storage is full. I need to update my iCloud and get a little bit more iCloud storage. But essentially, basically, I was taking photographs and then doing the one listing on Poshmark. And then I said, okay, I'll just copy and paste. And when I go into do my Mercari or my Facebook Marketplace listing, I'll just copy and paste. Well, it's a pain in the butt because I think Facebook has, or Poshmark has something where it's very difficult to kind of, I mean, think about once you upload, if you upload 16 pictures, you then have to download those 16 pictures. Where are you going to work from? It's, if your phone is already full in at capacity, I could only have I could only do 10 listings at a time on my phone, with 12 to 16 pictures on average for each one. And then I would need to delete them and then delete my deleted files to even have any more space. And it's an 11, I believe. And I think it's got the whole 64, but I've got like 4,000 pictures on my phone. So it's like at full capacity. And then I think almost 300 videos or something. So it's like, I got to open up my iCloud and increase my iCloud storage for it to function a little bit better. But some of the workarounds I've been thinking about kind of how to fix that a little bit is, and this is where one of my first missteps is, I should have immediately dropped it into my Google Drive. If I had dropped those pictures into my Google Drive I then would have had access all across my Google to then pop onto any computer and then have those pictures kind of organized and in there. Because then it's easier to attach those pictures to all the other listings. So that was kind of one of my struggles. And then I was like, okay, I want to step up my game on pictures. I want to get a mannequin. I do not do stock photos almost at all. I want you to actually see. Let me move this. Ooh, that was creaky. It's my little trifold table. That was kind of loud. So I don't use stock photos almost at all. I actually want you to see exactly what I actually have. I want you to see and look for and feel that, like, okay, I'm actually seeing if there's flaws, if it's, something stained or damaged or needs to be fixed or whatever. So I really try not to use stock photos. Now, if I find a great stock photo, then I'll make sure that I have tons of actual my pictures. But I might use one stock photo, but it may or may not be the first one. It all depends on the item and that sort of thing. And then, so I would basically, I said I wanted to step up my game and get pictures on mannequins. So this was like after I had done like 50 listings. Um, I was like, oh, now I got to go back and reshoot all of those. But I had also been typing on my phone and like just going so quickly. There's so many typos in all of my listings. And it's like, oh, now I got to go back and I got to fix all those typos. Because if you're literally putting in, I don't know, let me just think of one. If you're putting loft, so a loft brand, but you put the word lift, nobody's gonna look for lift. Everybody's looking for loft. So it's like stupid little mistakes that you're like, oh, why didn't I pay more attention from the beginning? And then on Poshmark, you don't really need to worry about the weight unless you've really got a big item that you think is over 5 pounds, where you would need to alert them to get more, um, where you would need to alert Poshmark that it's more than 5 pounds, and then the buyer needs to pay for more shipping or whatever. But you pretty much have up to those 5 pounds in priority. So I wasn't weighing anything. And then I was kind of, when I was cross listing it, so I was trying out some cross listing things. I didn't want to pay for any of that. I just didn't want to spend that money up front right now, until I feel like I've got a flow and it would make sense to kind of have a cross listing service. So I would then slowly trickle everything over to Mercari. But I noticed that some of the sales were just as good or better on Mercari as Poshmark. So then I was like panicking. I was like, I've got to get more listings. And that's what I've been working on for a month and a half is, because I currently have those active, but I've sold, I don't want to actually give numbers without really knowing. But my first sale I know was August 29th. So I was getting all of my stuff listed like buying and listing mid August. And then I know that the first item sold August 29th because I made sure to make a mental note. When did my first thing sell? So now we're at um October 2nd. So I mean really literally just over a month of active sales. And I want to say that maybe there have been 20 to 30 sales on Poshmark and maybe 8 to 10 on Mercari. But what I mean is Mercari being just as good is that the pricing and what they're paying for on Mercari is just as good or very similar to what they're paying on Poshmark for items. Um, and so, but the issue with Mercari is that, yes, you need to know kind of your exact weight. So I was kind of guesstimating. I mean, it's kind of easy to tell if if you've got this, for example, this little kid's bathing suit, right? If you've got this in your hand, you're like, okay, it's less than a pound. Or if you have a pair of shoes like these, you're going to know that they're going to be over a pound. The tricky part is, without having had the scale to do the measurements, I was kind of guessing. And then I'm thinking to myself, recently, like in the last week and a half. I'm like, you know what? If I was precise and had the precise measurements, it may actually help with the sale because somebody may have lower shipping. And the lower the shipping that you can get, I think the more sales you can have, the more positive sales. Because you're going to be helping your buyer save on your shipping. So what I did, well, and then on top of that, so then I'll tell you kind of the other thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get into Whatnot, and I've been accepted. The whole process is like a whole other video and a whole other thing, but I'm actually still waiting for live sale access because when I did the onboarding on Friday, um, my Whatnot account was opened with a Yahoo email from my Facebook, connected with my Facebook. But when they send you the link to do the meeting for the onboarding, it's through Google Meets. And so when I open it up on my computer, the Google Meet immediately pulled in from my Gmail. And I didn't know that that was going to be a factor or anything. I had no idea. So be very careful when you're going through your onboarding. And I don't know how I'm going to do. I'm going to try redoing the onboarding tomorrow. I've been trying to email them all weekend, and I haven't really gotten any responses yet on how to fix it. I'm hoping by tomorrow they'll give me a better response because they do say 24 to 48 hours for responses. And their response to me was that I needed to do the onboarding. And then once I do it and I pass the quiz, then they'll be able to change my username. And I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to change my username. I'm trying to get you to understand that I did the onboarding already and it sent me an email. I'm like, you should see your emails to me. Like internally, you should see that Whatnot emailed me that I didn't use the same email address for my onboarding as what my invitation email address is. So it's like, you should already see this. You should know that that was the issue. And especially because I'm emailing you and showing you what the issue and telling you what the issue is. But anyway, so I'm going to wait until tomorrow and see if I get a response from my request again tomorrow. But regardless, I've already signed up for another onboarding session for tomorrow. And at that time, I don't know how I'm going to pull it from my Yahoo. I don't know. I've got to see like when I get in there. Or right, like, because you get in there about 5 minutes before is what you're supposed to do. So there, I think it had an option to switch accounts, but I didn't see if I could switch it to my Yahoo email or not. So I don't even know. I have no idea. Maybe I have to go into um, that email, click on the link, but force it to open up under Yahoo somehow. So that's what I'm going to try tomorrow first. And I'm going to even try a couple minutes even before the 5 minutes that you're supposed to be in there and try and see if I can get it that way. So basically, the measurements. So let me backtrack to why I started that conversation. The measurements are important for Whatnot because they calculate your shipping based on the weight of the items. So I started going through the clothing and deciding what I would kind of do for the first show. And I went back and I grabbed the kitchen scale and I pulled everything off the hangers. This is why if you do everything from the very beginning when you first photograph and do your new listing, do it all at once. Take measurement pictures with a tape measure, take the measurements of everything that you can, and then take the weights and have kind of everything all in your listing ready to go. So I literally have like 4 pages of, can't really see it anyways, but I literally have like 4 pages of these with measurements that I now, number one, have to go back into Mercari, change the weight, recalculate the shipping and see if the shipping is lower for any of the items. And on top of that, I'm now ready to go though for when I go and do my listings um, for Whatnot. So I'm hoping my first Whatnot show is this week. I am almost ready. I really just need to work on my inventory spreadsheet to copy and paste things fast for when I create the listings for whatnot. I'm planning on doing 125 to 135, maybe 140 pieces, fall inspired for my first show. So keep an eye out for that. If I didn't say it in the beginning, I need to really start getting subscribers. My old YouTube channel was Marmar31484, which I know I've mentioned it a couple times, but if you ever want to go back and see content that's not reselling related, but like TTC related, crafting, soap making, photography, creativity things, life, that sort of thing, before kids and then my kids' pregnancy. I had twins, so my twin pregnancy and all of that stuff is in my old account. So none of it's really related to reselling whatsoever. Um, so that again is Marmar31484. I didn't have a lot of subscribers, but it was fun. I did that stuff for about 2 to 3 years, maybe. And so that's why I really love doing these videos. So um, now that we're getting up to, so those were some of the mistakes. So that's the whole um, kind of learning. So if you're kind of working on starting new listings, really make sure that you're taking all of your notes and everything from the very beginning. Um, if you can't get a mannequin right off the bat, it's okay. Not everybody has mannequins. I just feel like it made such a difference that somebody can see how a piece of clothing lies on a body. And so to me, I thought that that was pretty great. Some things I still do flat. Pants I still do flat on tables. Um, and yeah, so let me actually show you guys now around the room a little bit because I know we're getting closer to 32 minutes. I wanted to try and keep this video under 45 minutes, so a good little 45-minute session. But I actually want to show you guys what I'm going to do with this rack to get ready for the shows. And because I'm not recording on my phone, I'm recording on the computer. I'm going to kind of have to be moving the computer around a little bit. So just bear with me. I'm going to start by flipping you guys over. Let's see, because things are connected. Okay. You guys love this music? Do you know how cool this thing is? I want to say it was $6.99 or $7.99 for this little, and it's a clip on onto this table. So my main work table that I have is this little. This is a trifle, and this is this room. This guy is so cool. It's called. I really hate the way that this camera looks, but anyways, it's called Chill Hop. Chill, Chill, Chill Hop. And he's got tons of videos, and it's cute that the jazz is like with this little raccoon or these little forest animals, and it's got the scenes, but it's like in a cartoon kind of thing. And so let me tell you. And I'm gonna get up and kind of point things out. So this little table is like movable. It's small enough that I can move it around the room, and then I can actually work and everything. So kind of everything that I have over here is kind of like my whole shipping station. And then I've got my little speaker hanging over there from that lamp very vintage step ladder lamp. And then it's just like boho chic, girly. Let me try and flip this. There we go. So me and my girls had tried to paint this mosaic wall over here like 2 years ago. There's my mannequin who's just chilling with some accessories right now. So we've got a prize bucket. We've got all kinds of what is it called? Supplies and everything for packing and selling. I've got my new poly bags. So these are my new poly bags that I ordered on Amazon. Sorry that this like holding you guys is like destabilizing. So they're really cute. I just ordered them on Amazon. They've got handles, which I loved. I loved the handles idea. How cute is that when you get home and you just pick it up like a bag, like you just went shopping? Um, and then I've got lots of supplies that I got from USPS for free. I've got a scale down here for printing out labels is down here. By the way, I did order, I did finally was able to, the last thing on my list that I wanted was a thermal printer. And I got a used thermal printer off of Poshmark um, this weekend from someone. And I got a Brother QL 550. So if anybody knows if those are good or not. And then really, like over here is just my, this was a spare bedroom. So this was like a guest bedroom. So that's kind of why we decided let's bring everything into here. Closet. I brought in the rack. And then I've got, so let me put you guys down now and actually show you some stuff. Okay, so we're going to be putting up a whiteboard and doing a calendar so that we can kind of figure out, like, have our live shows on the calendar. So I've got a whiteboard. The kids want to help me so much with everything. They really want to be involved with all of it. And so I'm kind of playing it by ear and seeing what I'm going to do, if I'm going to let them help me a little bit or not. Um, I might though, because they're kind of, very helpful. These are actually two pieces that I actually have to package up tonight. So after filming this, I sold this Janie and Jack zebra bathing suit for the kids. It's an 18 to 24 month. I want to say it sold for like 15, I think. So I've got to package this up and then we'll have to talk pricing one day. That's going to be a whole separate video because I'm super frustrated with the whole pricing thing. But this sale, this lady got a deal on this jacket, in my opinion. Um, check out this jacket. So, and this is from Jones, New York, the size large. It's this really bright fuchsia pink, which I know you guys can't see that on there. That's what I have to try and figure out this whole, obviously, like I've been wanting to do this show all day today, and I was so busy with a million other things that I didn't get to it. So if there was natural light in here, you guys could see, but it's a fuchsia pink like this. And it's just beautiful, and it's beautiful on the inside, and it's velvet, and it's lined, and it's just stunning. $9. $9. I literally made like $1 profit on this. That's it. But right now, with reopening and with getting sales out, I want to get the sales out. I want to get great pieces into people's hands that they want. And I want them, I want great reviews. So I want to just get things out there. Eventually, there's going to be time for profit. I've already made my profit back from everything. I spent about $180 throughout August and September um, with buying product, right? Buying inventory. And I've already made it back and more. So it's just, it not way much more, because now, for example, this brother printer that I put in there, that was almost $50. I used some of my Poshmark credit for it, but um, essentially there are some things that I've spent in the last week and a half that there isn't profit there yet. So, but I still have 180 something pieces in inventory, and I still probably have about 10 new listings that haven't even gone up yet. So I know that the amount is there and there's, time for it, but basically it just takes a little bit of time. So you just have to be patient with it. So this was definitely a steal. I should have put this back up again more, but I had lowered it for a sale, and I should have just caught it and put it back up. I had wanted like 15 for it, at least, and didn't get it. So that's okay. So this needs to be shipped out. Um, Not something that I would pick up again. Although I want to say that I picked this up, I think maybe late August or early September. Thinking, fall up north and having this great, like jacket. And it did go pretty quick. I mean, less than a month. So that is for tomorrow to go out. There were a couple of things that I already packaged this weekend that I had already sold. So let's focus on these clothes and on this rack. I'm going to tell you something that I need to do tonight. I'm not going to do it all in the video because it's going to take forever. But what I want to do for these live shows and whatnot, one of the things I've been learning already is to have your lighter pieces going out the door first. And that's because people pay, that first item that they purchase is going to be their most expensive item, because that's where the heaviest shipping is. After that first item, if they purchase additional items, then they will get decreased shipping. So it's still, as a reseller trying to buy on whatnot for reselling, it can be a little bit risky. I bought some stuff in a show last night that are a little bit risky, and I don't know if I'm going to make any profit on them whatsoever at all. But I really wanted to get into another person's show and wanted to kind of pick up a couple of things. She was starting everything at $4, so I thought it's fair. That's kind of going to be the ballpark of kind of where I think I want to start a lot of the pricing on. I'm very nervous about how pricing is going to work in this first live show. I don't want to commit to having I'm definitely never going to do, I'm not going to say never. I'm not going to be starting out with dollar shows. I need to make some profit, clear out inventory so I can continue to go get new inventory. So I'm never going to say never that I'm not going to have dollar shows, but I need to be very careful about what pieces I would pull for a dollar show, and what I would feel comfortable if it does end up selling for $1, if it ends up selling for $1. Because every piece that you sell for $1 after the fees, you're actually really only getting like 50 cents, because they're immediately taking 30 cents off for a processing fee, or I think it's a payment fee for paying online or something. And then their processing fee is 2.9% on each whole transaction. And then their commission that they take, I think, is 8%, if I'm not mistaken, on each transaction. So I think it's 11-ish, a little bit over 11%. So when you're thinking about a dollar item, what are you going to get? 50 cents for an item? Has anybody sourced and gotten pieces, unless it's absolutely free that somebody gave you something? Has anybody sourced pieces for 50 cents lately? Even buying at bins and even getting pieces for my lowest cost pieces that I've gotten on some things has been under $1, but not that low. And so most of my pieces have cost me $1. So if I'm starting it off at $1 and I'm only going to get 50 cents, I'm now in negative territory. So there's no way that I'm starting off anything as a dollar show. I will get followers. another way because I know a lot of people like to do those dollar shows, get a lot of people in there to follow you. No, I'm going to do it another way. I'm very communicative when I go into these shows and I'm talking to people and interacting and asking questions and, helping out. And this show that I did last night, even though I bought 7 pieces, I want to say that I think I spent maybe close to like $50 on 7 pieces. Is crazy. Um, but one of them might be a gift for my husband. I don't know. I think one of them. I'm gonna see if it fits him, and if it doesn't fit him, if it's too big, then I'll sell it. But I mean, I've really got to get good margins to make back that money, um, because it's like the highest price crap I've ever bought, and that was most of the pieces were 6.96, so close to $7. So to even double my money, I mean, I've got to have everything coming in over $20 on almost every single piece to even have it have been worth it. So it's going to be a little rough. They might sit for a while. So I'm thinking that my first show um, might be between $5 to $10 starts and just call it a day. Even I do have some things that I would really like to get a little bit more, and I've got to think about if I'm going to actually put those there. So you really need to actually think about what did you actually spend. So if like I have a pair of Athleta pants that I thought would fly, brand new with tags, $98. I thought they would fly. I paid $11 for them. They're not flying. Like I wanted them gone like the first weekend that I listed them, and they're not flying, and they're adorable. They're really, really adorable. If they fit me and I had money to buy Athleta, I would be buying Athleta, or I'd be buying used, like new with tags Athleta on Poshmark for half off. Like they're really great, awesome pant. And for just some reason, they're just not flying. So I've now got them sitting around $50 or so. I mean, they're new with tags, never used, stunning condition, and they're purple. They're adorable, with full mesh, and they're not flying. Hopefully, somebody sees it. Go buy my Athleta pants. Anyways, so basically, you're gonna really have to make a decision. Like, okay, I know for sure that I bought this piece for $11. I'm not gonna start it at $10, and well, I might start it at $10 and see if it goes up from there a little bit. But can you imagine if you do spend a certain amount and then you trying to like get it right at what you spent for it and hoping that it bids to your a little bit higher, and it doesn't, and it sells for that $10 start or whatever the number is. Like that's the crappy part, that you really got to be okay with your numbers and you really got to think it out. So it's kind of this whole like game and preparing. Like all of these live shows, this is work. This takes serious work. I've spent hours prepping this room and getting everything ready. I've bought number tags, and I bought different kind of number tags than what everybody else has. I bought little tags like this. I don't know. It's like really hot in here, and I'm like getting really dizzy. I don't know if it's the lighting. I gotta get my air conditioner working. So I bought tags like this, and I wrote them up myself. And there's 5 different colors. These were, I want to say they were like $7 or $8 for 500 of them. They're cute, and I'm trying to figure out. This is going to be what I send with each piece that I send out. So these numbers will be what I use to number the show, and then I will send this out. Um, and I did 2 color sets, 1 through 100, so I covered myself with 200 items. Then in every package that I send out, I also include like 2 or 3 stickers. So I have vinyl stickers, and I bought Halloween kind of ones. So I bought like witches and potions and whatever kind of for Halloween. Look how cute this one is. It's adorable. Hold on. adorable. So I'll throw in like 2 or 3 stickers, and then the poly bags are already say thank you on them, so I'm saving on a thank you on there. Um, and so yeah, this little table has this little drawer pulls out, so I have my numbers and my stuff in there. I switched one of the activities that I did during the hurricane was I have a lot of different kind of hangers around the house, but I went and got all my velvet ones and prioritized putting everything on my velvet hangers. And so what I'm gonna be doing on this rack is I'm now gonna take now that I know the weights, I'm gonna put it into my spreadsheet with the name of the item, and I'm gonna sort it by weight. And then I'm gonna go up to the rack and I'm gonna put it in order of that weight so that the items go increasing in weight. So if somebody is buying and sticking out through the whole show and they're buying multiple pieces, the heaviest pieces will be at the end and not at the beginning. So a really cool tip. I forget who I learned that from, but I thought it was super neat and made lots of sense. Um, and then now obviously if somebody comes in at the middle of a show, tough luck. They're gonna get whatever they're getting, but I am gonna sort it that way. And I'll make sure that that's actually something that I point out at the beginning of the show that, hey, if you stick with me, I'm starting out with lightest to heaviest items. And I'll list it that way in the shop. I'm going to be running the shows going in order at first, and I'm going to go through everything. So I'm not going to be doing requests. I'm going to run through the list. I'm going to try and go kind of quick. Um, Me and my daughters have already created a playlist, so we've been playing around with music and putting together a playlist. And then we've already got prizes, so we're going to be doing some giveaways. I'm going to do a beginning, middle, and end giveaway. And then I'm thinking I've got to find out um, how I want to do this this game. And what I want to do is basically, you guys tell me if it's a good idea or not. Um, and I gotta check with whatnot and make sure. But essentially, however much you spend on each item. So say you spend $10, I'm gonna put your name in the pot 10 times. So you'll get however many chances of however much you spent. And I'm gonna make that announcement and those rules clear. I don't know if I'm gonna have the prize rules written somewhere. I have no idea yet how I'm gonna do that, but basically I'll mention that a couple times and I'll remind people, hey, for every dollar that you spend, you'll get that many entries into the prize drawing, and then do a grand prize at the very end. Um, but obviously that way that extra weight or prize or whatever, I gotta figure that out with whatnot. So, because it's a giveaway, but how you get charged for giveaways. And someone said something like $4 or $5 per giveaway. So can you imagine those people who do dollar shows? And if you make nothing and then you're doing 2 or 3 giveaways, I couldn't do those dollar shows, guys. Can't do it. So essentially, that's what I need to do is organize this rack tonight and get that kind of in order, and be ready. And then I have this really beautiful wood table. So the front rack is everything that I want to do for the show. Then I have more stuff in the closet behind that is kind of not fall, but basically this front rack is kind of like what I consider a fall. And then I've got a ton of shoes in the bottom. And I mean, basically that's kind of what I wanted to do tonight was kind of just introduce you guys, show you around a little bit. Let me see if I can move. I don't know why I feel so dizzy too. I don't really feel well. Um, those are my those are my daughters when they were babies. They're 8.5 now. Here I have kids' clothes. Oh, no, it's not. Here I have kids' clothes. It's like a flower or something. So I've got quite a few stuff that I just recently got this weekend in the mail. And this beautiful cable from Carolina Ports, and it's just stunning. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around for almost an hour while we're talking through everything. And just watch out for my whatnot shows this week. And I will be doing a lot more videos on YouTube. I have tons of other topics and stuff that I can break down and talk to you about. And then if you guys have any questions on anything, um, or want to, hear something about my, whatever experience I've been having with whatever it is, just let me know. My Poshmark closet is called Recycle Earth SRQ, but it's RECY, so shortened version of Recycle RECY Earth SRQ. And on Mercari, it's recycled, all spelled out, threads SRQ. My Facebook page is called New Green Homes SRQ, but it's NU, so initials of my last name. So New NU Green Homes SRQ is my Facebook page. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoy and check back with me in a couple days and we'll have some more new video content coming out. Thanks, you guys. Have a great night. Bye bye.